So here we go, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Kings of Anglia Track the Girls Talk podcast. We are back. And of course, we are proudly sponsored by John Fowler Solicitors. Big up Mark Kennedy as ever for his support. I'm joined by my co-host and Town Women skipper, Blue Wilson. 8 straight wins for the Track the Girls. A 2-0 win at Stadium MK against Milton Keynes. Blue, it's great to have you back on. We've been away for a while because we've had no games, but it's great to have you back. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. It's been weird. Yeah, no pod last week. But if you are watching this, you can now see that I have got light. It's not great lighting, I'll give you that. But I have got light. I know the last pod, I had a few comments from people saying, are you paying your electricity bills? But I'm back at my family home at the minute, so I can use all the light I want because I'm not paying. So that's the... I know, Mum, you're listening. Don't worry, I'll switch them off after. But I'm all good. Enjoyable day. Yesterday we're recording on Monday, so against MK. And yeah, we're on a bit of a run. It's a good time to be on this sort of run as well. A nice bit of momentum. 8 games on the trot. And yeah, enjoying. I think everyone's enjoying it at the minute. Obviously, we're coming towards the business end of the season with only 2 games to go. It's flown by. It's absolutely flown by, especially these past few games. But looking forward to the big pressure. And yeah, how are you, Ross?
I'm very well. Yeah, I missed the routine of not doing a podcast. Mm-hmm. But when there's no games getting postponed, you sort of like, of course, it's always good to have a chinwag, Blue, but we need also content to talk about. We can be creative and stuff, but we've got a game to talk about, and also just a time for us to recharge our batteries and bring you another great podcast. And yeah, Blue, we're getting to the end of the season, which is just mad. It's just, as you said, it's flown by. 2 games left to go. But yeah, we're in form, Blue. 8 straight wins on the bounce. Another clean sheet. A stadium game it was at Stadium MK. It was your first trip there. I've been there multiple times, so the roundabouts and everything is boring now for me. But what was it like being at a good stadium? MK, fair play to them. They've got a decent setup.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to expect because previously when we played them away, we played on, I can only describe it as a farmer's field. So it was nice. It was a nice change to play at Stadium MK. I know they play a lot of games there, and I didn't really know what to expect. I haven't been there as a player or as a fan. So yeah, it's a nice stadium actually. I like how you're fully surrounded. It's weird. You are fully surrounded, so I like that element of it. Changing room was nice and big. Yeah, decent stadium. Pitch was in okay condition. I mean, to be honest, it's better than Felixstowe, isn't it? It's nice to have a surface where you can really ping the ball about. I think it suits the way we want to play quite well. So that was nice having and they had the sprinklers on it. So I was like, oh, I could see Joe was like, yes, yes, we could play some football here. So yeah, added a nice touch. And I think it's nice for the fans actually as well.
Yeah.
Because although we love Felixstowe and we love how much character it has, sometimes I do feel for the fans when we're trekking away to some away pitch and it isn't great. So I think it's almost a nice reward to have, seats to be in a nice setting. Obviously it was nowhere near full, but it's almost like watching a proper game of football for a change, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Although I love playing in random settings, I think it adds stories, and the amount of times us girls have gone back and remembered times where we've had to play on this pitch or that pitch or the changing room was like this. It is funny, and I definitely wouldn't change that. But overall, enjoyed it.
Yeah, when you mentioned, I think when we were right at Stadium MK, we were like saying, last time we played MK away, we played at Wootton Blue Cross. And no offence to them, but that was a dreadful, dreadful ground. It was bad weather as well. From that to a stadium, and yeah, just seeing all the players just walk on the pitch, taking pictures, videos, just sort of just enjoying that knowing they're going to be playing in a stadium. They're a League One football club. Milton Keynes. Town play them. But just them for just to enjoy that, a decent dressing room, just a nice way to have a pre-match, getting ready. Joe didn't need to worry about putting the sprinklers on himself. He knew that was all getting set up. But yeah, just to see that and just, capture those moments, it was just great. And as you said, fans, nice little reward. I think there's some fans, though, do like a bit of non-league ground. You like that setup. And as you said, there is a good character of that. But just for a nice little change, it's nice to have a stadium game, just to see a big stadium when you turn up and go, wow, here we go, we've got a venue here to look forward to. And it was just a good day all round just to experience that. And for some players, I think like the Huddersfield game in the FA Cup, we played at their ground. That was a nice, you played in that game. And of course, that was a fantastic result.
Yeah. It did have that feel. It did have that feel. When you play in a stadium like that, it's almost like no matter who you're playing, obviously Huddersfield compared to MK Dons is slightly, different dynamic. But it gives you that feel of it. Oh, this is a big game. It adds a bit of, not nervousness, but it adds that little extra bit where you're like, okay, we need to perform here. Which I think is good, and like I said, it's nice as a change. I wouldn't want it all the time, I don't think, because smaller grounds, they do have something about them.
Yeah,
they really do. But as a change towards the end of the season, it's a nice one.
Definitely, and of course, we played at home park. The last 2 seasons. Plymouth. I think we just sort of get there, don't we, and go, that's a long trip. I mean, you enjoy playing at a stadium, but you also think in the back of your mind when you're playing, you're like, oh, still got to get like 6 hours back to Suffolk. So, but that's been great experiences. But yeah, MK and chance for Sheehan ball to be played on that surface. Let's talk then about the game. The first game in 3 weeks, Blue. After the Oxford game got postponed, we won't get into that because that's happened. Of course, a frustrating day all round. But we're back in action and started off pretty well, didn't we, Blue? An early goal, Tash with a header at the back post, back on the score sheet, starting. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, so it was interesting because MK Dons are sort of, before the game, they're in a position where they can't go down. They're not going to get promoted. So they're sort of in that middle zone where they're fighting to do as well as they can, but actually have probably got a bit of space to maybe experiment or, I'm not sure, prepare for next season. So I didn't really know how they were going to set up. But obviously from the first sort of 5 minutes, you could see, actually probably from the first 2 minutes, you could see that they were going to sit back. They were going to let Boz and Megan have the ball. They weren't really going to press us and sit in a mid block. And at sort of later times in a low block for sure. There was a lot of bodies behind the ball, which obviously meant that we had possession quite a bit, and the goal came quick. So obviously it came from a corner, I think, didn't it? Corner.
Yes, yeah. Then
it was a second phase, second or third phase. So corner came in, it then bobbled out, and then Boz has put a great ball in, I think, and Tash equally good header. It's all come across. It's a weird. She's headed it at a weird angle. Very easy to get those wrong, I think.
Yeah.
On another day, if that's me, I think that's going back towards my goal. But she's made a great connection and it's gone in off the post. So it's great to start that off. And good for Tash as well. Obviously, first start in a while, and to sort of get herself going again. Back with a goal. Back with a bang.
Definitely. I think she's now joint with Anna with the goals. They're fighting for the golden boot. So that's good. Good entertainment.
That's good. Yeah, I like a bit of that.
Yeah, with 2 games to go, who's going to win it? Because Tash has won it for the last, since she's signed, I think the last 5-6 years or whatever. So Anna's really going for it. I don't know if anybody else can sneak in. If someone scores like 4 or 5 against Cheltenham, that maybe, I don't know who else is up there. I'll think about that in a sec. But you mentioned, Blue, would you say maybe MK Dons, they're on the beach? I don't know. Don't know if you can use that phrase. That's what they do nowadays, don't they? If, last few games of the season, players are on the beach if they've got nothing to play for. But yeah, they did sit back a lot, didn't they? But maybe they're expecting, like, we play some really good football. Maybe they know that, we've got a lot of threats, players like Pescott running at them.
Yeah, I wouldn't describe them as on the beach. I think it was more perhaps a very sort of structured way of trying to cope with us. I think teams do that a lot where they sit back. They know that quality-wise, 1v1, if they want to match up, they're probably not going to win the game. So there's other ways of trying to win a game of football. And you see it so often when teams sit back and they do well at it, and then suddenly they catch you on the counter where by chance or by lack of concentration or sheer moment of quality, and teams can turn the game around like that. But I think that strategy then becomes difficult when we score an early goal like that, because then they've got to get one back. So I think after the first goal went in, I almost was like, well, what's the game plan now? I think their game plan before was to sit as many as you can behind the ball in the first half, get to half time, and let's see if we can grind it out. But obviously that sort of went out the window. So I was expecting a bit more of a response, but it didn't really happen. They carried on with a sort of mid to low block, not really pressuring us too much. Centrally, a lot of bodies, so space out wide for people like Pescott and Summer. But I think at times we may have struggled with the quality of the decisions and then perhaps the execution. So although the build was fine, when it got into those tighter areas, because there were so many bodies, our decisions weren't quite on it on Sunday. I don't think as much as we'd like them to be, because we've got quite high standards. So although we dominated possession, it was very much a one-sided affair. I'd have liked to seen a bit more quality, and I think all of the girls would probably share that view.
Because they had so much time on the ball, didn't they? Sometimes you maybe overthink things. You're like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah.
Because I had so many times I looked up and just thought, okay, EK's got a lot of time here, or even Megan's got so much time here.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you maybe overthink a pass or a long ball. I think there's a few times maybe we're victims of that. Maybe doing like a really good ball over the top, but maybe it was mistimed or whatever. Because you had so much time on the ball, maybe more time to think when you normally think, oh, I just want to whip it up. I want to give a shout out though to Anna and Laffy, because their partnership as of late has been fantastic. Definitely in this game, down that left hand side. That's where I was sort of taking pictures in the first half, and their connection was fantastic. And of course, it was Anna who won the penalty, Blue, and Laffy stepped up. And I think Joe was saying, because he sort of knew, he knew his team, and he was like thinking, who's he going to give the penalty to? And on the pitch, I didn't really know at first. I thought, well, maybe Tash cut the ball. And I thought, maybe Tash fancies another goal here. But Laff took it, and it was a good penalty. Blue, wasn't it?
Very good penalty. Very, very good. You're right in highlighting Laff and Anna. I think Laff, solid 1v1 defender, very, very solid, but also on the ball, calm, composed, often makes the right decision. And I think you can really rely on her, actually. And then with that connection with Anna and their relationship, Anna can beat anyone 1v1. I just feel bad for right backs.
Yeah.
When I see them line up, I was like, you are going to have a horrible game today. Your life is going to be difficult. But yeah, she's obviously won the pen. And equally, we were sat on the bench. And obviously Bonnie and Lucy O'Brien were on the bench, who are sort of normal penalty takers. I was like, who is this going to be? I saw Tash grab the ball. I was like, I don't think Tash will. Tash has never really taken penalties. And then obviously Laff stepped up, slapped it right into the bottom right. It was a great pen. Really good pen. And before the game, there was a few of us, and we were sort of walking around the pitch. And we shouldn't have been in the box. We got told off for being in the box, but we didn't know this at the time. So we went into the box. We had a look at the penalty spot. And we were like, it looks really far away. Luckily, I don't think Laff was in that conversation. But we were like, this penalty, it looks really far away. And then we measured it out, and obviously it was the right distance. It's just perception. But made no difference.
I think that's another thing. So I think a lot of the players were looking at the goals as well. And I think, there was, I think a lot of the players jumping and trying to reach it. Because of course, they're the same size as like Felix or whatever, but I think because it's more, I don't know what to call it really, just maybe more upgraded because they've got more money to maybe use a different sort of goal mouth or whatever. But it's just interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels different. Maybe because you're surrounded by seats and stadium, and it makes you think everything is. Like, I remember walking down the tunnel and I thought, this is huge. That perception that because we're in a big stadium, it's a big game, that the goals have to be bigger, the penalty spots further away. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
We've all lost it. Maybe that's it. We've all lost it.
possibly. I think I'm now quickly looking at it. Yes, 30,000 that stadium holds.
Is
The
it?
capacity.
Wow.
Yeah, which it is just a huge stadium, and it's a good setup. But sadly, they don't get the crowds that should get that stadium. But yeah, just anything, just little things like that. Even just the maybe corner flags and just certain things like I'm sure warming up was a whole different experience for for Nicky and just Joe and all the coaches just sort of setting up. I think he even mentioned to Paul Walker, the goalkeeper coach. Would you do anything different for this? And he went, no, not really. I went, oh, okay.
No, I don't think anything changes.
No, but I think it's just maybe it's just there's different surroundings, but still the same sort of setup because why change it? That's what everyone's used to. But Laugh, good pen, 2-0 in control. And at that stage, I was like, I think this is 17 minutes, and I was like, I want more goals here. We didn't get any more goals, but I want to quickly mention one thing that actually happened in the first half as well, which would have been an unbelievable goal. I want to watch it back, actually. At some stage, I want to watch it back. EK chipping the ball over to Anna, and that would have been an amazing goal. Basically, it was like, for the men's goal, broadhead over to Chaplin against Cheltenham. It was pretty much similar to that, pretty much. And I was like, oh my God, if that went in, EK and Anna can live on that forever because that was
goal of the season. Yeah,
goal of the season as well. Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what the goal of the season is at the minute.
Yeah, we'll get into that soon, but I don't really know. We'll have to
have a think about that one
soon. Yeah, let us know, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know. Anybody else, players listening, or K-Dog. I'm sure he has to put the nominations in because there's been a few good goals this season. Some good goals, some team goals. But if that was converted, that would have been my pick straight away because I watched it. I should have been maybe taking pictures at this point, but I just was having a little brief moment. I was just having a little look round, and just out of nowhere, I saw EK just chip. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like,
she almost scooped under the ball, didn't she?
Yeah.
It was,
yes. Once again, that's a moment you want to see in real time. Like watching on replay is always great, but like they say, the Broadhead Chaplin goal, you needed to watch it in real time to really appreciate it. Because you can watch on replays, different angles, but didn't come off, unfortunately. And there was no other goals, sadly, Blue. It wasn't really end to end, was it? It was, as you said, a lot of possession. The second half came, and it was pretty much a training game. That's what I felt like, anyway.
Yeah, it probably did have that feel. I think we probably won. We perhaps struggled to get out of third gear. Maybe is that fair to say? Probably. I mean, obviously we want to score as many goals as possible, and that's always the aim. Everyone wants to score, but for some reason that we lacked that sort of final touch, that final bit of quality that opens up those chances. And when you're in games like that, when teams are sitting 5-6 back at the back, it then becomes very difficult. It requires a higher sort of there's a very sort of small margin. And we couldn't really meet that. And we were obviously 2-0 up, so we weren't chasing anything. We'd already sort of cemented the win unless something strange would have happened. But I think we looked sure at the back. Obviously, that's in 8 games, we've only conceded 1. That's worth a mention. Yeah. Again, another clean sheet. I think it's easy to slip up in games like that when concentration isn't there and we feel comfortable. It's a big shout out to the back 4 and Sarah. They've done very well. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Oh, actually, I will mention something. So I don't know whether this was in the first half or second half, but there's been an injury, so I think perhaps second half, and all the players have come over for a drink and tactics from Joe, and Summer Hughes has come off the pitch, and the linesman has called her Huggies. They're shouting, Huggies, Huggies, get back on the pitch. And I was just like, I never thought someone could pronounce Summer Hughes' name in another way other than Ross.
Yeah.
Normal way. And now we've got Huggies. So there we go, Ross. You're not the worst.
No, because I do Hughes in my Suffolk accent, but that's Huggies, like, yeah. That's a cop, like, that's not that difficult to pronounce, really, Hughes. I know I say it funny, but you look at it and go, yeah, that's like Hughes. That's like a store as well, isn't it? It's a store, like
Yeah,
a
yeah, it
vegetable
is, yeah.
store.
But it
So,
really made me laugh because I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
that reminds me of Ross."
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, good old Summer. Yeah, Summer Hughes. There we
Some
go.
Hughes.
Fair play to that linesman. If you're listening, yeah, there we go. Um, but yeah, as you mentioned though, another clean sheet. Summer's part of that defence. Sarah, I think Golden Glove pending for a second season in a row because I think she got it last year as well.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
So yeah, once again, it's not just Sarah; it is the back four, back three,
Mhm.
all the defence, the whole team really, back and front. Because MK, they did actually have one or two chances, didn't they? They came forward a little bit, and I think Sarah had to come into action a little bit. But that was it. And we didn't really, I can't really think off the top of my head our chances really. Like corners, maybe set pieces, maybe were a bit disappointing from our point of view. But it's just one of those things sometimes. Megan's always up there. I think she had another really big chance. She could have
Oh,
scored.
so
Like,
close.
what a
So
way to
close.
first goal.
She hit the bar, didn't she, in the
Yeah,
first for the first goal? And then she had a couple more where it looked like she was inches away.
yeah,
So, so close. But yeah, I think they did have a couple of chances. There was a few balls over the top which caught us off guard a little bit. But Sarah's come out brilliantly. And there was one point where I thought she was going to come outside the box and slide as they do. You
yeah,
know, the surface is wet. You never know. But no, fully in control. And I think if I was a keeper, times like that would scare me because obviously to judge the ball coming at you, but also you've got two players running, so the defender and the attacker, you've got to catch the ball, and then also that player is going to run into you.
yeah,
Oh, I'm not sure I'd like that. I was like, oh, Sarah, not sure I'd like that, but she handled it very well. And I never really felt at danger. Obviously, to mention Zoe Barrett played for them,
yeah.
who previously played for us this season. So nice to see her. And yeah, I can't think of much more to mention, Ross. It was a 2-0 win, but there wasn't really much excitement. It was bordering on a boring, dull game, if I'm honest. If I'm honest.
Yeah, I think we've got to be honest here, ladies and gentlemen. If you weren't at the game, it wasn't great. It wasn't a game
It
we'll look
wasn't
back on.
blockbuster. It was not
No,
blockbuster.
no. Sally, which you got a setup like that, you think, oh, you want a nice blockbuster. But at least we saw 2 goals.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it won't be a game we'll probably look back on. Maybe just the experience of the whole day. We'll go, yeah, that was good, weren't it? Playing at a stadium and the memories to live, forever. Food then, Blue. And actually, no, before food, sorry, it's always me with food, isn't it? Always me with food. We've got to give a shout out to the fans as standard. It's the norm now. We're used to this, but they're always fantastic. Drums, flags, inflatable flamingos, all the animals you can think of. Fair play to you. They brought up, supporters coach. I think ITFC Sweden were there as
Yeah.
well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, great to see them. Great noise. 2 drums, as I said, Blue. Oh, it's just great, isn't it?
Oh, amazing. Amazing. I wasn't actually aware that Inflatable Day existed, but I was informed by the supporters group that they had chosen MK Don's game as the designated inflatables. So I was a little bit surprised when they were all pumping up these. I was like, guys, what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's Inflatable Day. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, so there was a couple. I think there was a couple of inflatables that actually sat on the bench during the game, which was quite funny. But yeah, amazing as per usual. Felt like a home game, massively sort of out-shouted, out-sung, out-supported the MK Dons crew. So yeah, big shout out to them as ever. They've been brilliant the past, ever since Christmas actually. They've really sort of come together. And we really appreciate it because it's amazing. And actually there was a really nice moment where we'd finished the game, shaking hands, and we turned back and there's just that wall of supporters, because usually they're all sort of spread around, so you don't see them in sort of one sort of eye. What do you call that? One I don't know what that's called.
On the worst word, like trying to think of a phrase.
I don't know what that word is. It'll come to me in a minute. But
Yeah.
it's sort of in one shot, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I know what I mean.
So to see that it really put a smile on my face actually.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, thank you as ever for coming down. It's amazing to see you all.
Definitely. I think the what makes me laugh the most is like it's EK's mum, who's like, she was blowing up the inflatable. She was the one who's handing them out, and she was like, I think she gave us 2 to put on the bench. I think one was maybe a pig and something else. I think a horse. Yeah, horse.
I think there was a couple of horses actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got punches on our shirts, haven't we? Suffolk punches. The badge, that's what it is. But no, fair play to you all, and I'm sure some of you guys are listening. So keep it up. 2 big home games to come, of course, and then final then notes from the game in blue. As we mentioned, food. I didn't have any actually in the ground. Actually, I went to had a cheeky Mackie D's because there's so many great. Once again, part of the setup at MK, you got Papa John's, you got Nando's, you got TGO Fridays. Yeah, you got KFC, McDonald's, but there was pizza on hand. And for athletes and players who have just played 90 minutes or so, pizza is probably not what I want to be eating. Even, I don't know, it's a quick little, carb up, but you want proper. You want something proper, don't you?
You do. And also, actually, so we had Papa John's pizza, which made sense because it was just there.
Yeah.
So I think there's 3 pizzas, quite big pizzas. I've never had Papa John's pizza before.
Really?
I don't think. Don't rate it.
Ooh, okay.
Not good. Not good. Very poor, actually.
Yeah. Like, once again, we can have, if we can rate, because we've got, there's other pizza riders out there, of course, Domino's, Pizza Hut. Is Pizza Express, is that their own chain? Is that a chain?
Yeah.
I don't know if it, and because, do you know what? Some of the best pizza places are actually not, they don't just do pizza, they do other things, if that makes sense. Some of the best pizza I've actually had.
I think the best pizza would probably be, see, I'm not really a pizza like lover, but it's definitely not going to be a chain. See, these chain pizzas when you get them delivered, it's never really been me.
Yeah. Or I've actually found it's called Pizza Go-Go, but they, I know it's got pizza in the name. They do other bits and bobs, but I had a pizza the other week from them. I was like, that was probably better than Domino's / blah, blah, blah. And it's cheaper as well. So sometimes chains, come at me, Domino's, if you want to give me better pizza and stuff. But we won't get into the pineapple on pizza and stuff because we know it's wrong. We know it's wrong. But I had a cheeky McDonald's afterwards, and I felt a bit wrong, to be fair. I was like, I wanted the Nando's because I know some of the girls got a Nando's.
Yeah, they did.
Why didn't I think about going there? It's my go-to, but I just don't know. You hang about, don't you? Chat, and I could have ordered it by then and had it on the coach home, but it is what it is. Well, that's done then. Yeah, I think that's it from the MK game. I don't think there's any else things to mention, Blue. Any funny stories from behind the scenes? Any players in particular?
I don't think so. I mean, some players are you just laugh at. EK is one of them.
Yeah.
EK.
Of course, she was, once again captain because Bonnie was on the bench. EK, once again, I'm sure that was another proud moment for her to lead the team out. Or once again, just that experience going through the tunnel. Tunnel. I'm sure the players, I think Kieran was the one or Maddie who filmed it. Just seeing the players walk out. Because at that point, I was doing something, so I didn't really capture them, taking pictures of that. But just watching it about, I was like, that must have just been a surreal moment walking out. Sadly, you're going to be seeing empty seats, but to see like a massive dome of a stadium, like bloody hell, and looking behind,
you feel covered.
Yeah.
Actually, that brings me on to mention the music just before they came out. I loved it.
Okay.
Absolutely loved it. I can't. If I can remember the tune, I'd try and mimic it now. So it's probably better that I don't remember it.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, you know what, this is good. Because usually you sort of have the standard sort of build-up music, but I hadn't heard that one before. Very good. So yeah, might be worth a return visit to MK Dons just purely for that build-up music.
Definitely. Well, I'll try to figure it out. Try to find, maybe get in contact with MK and say, what's that music? Hopefully they play it all the time. Hopefully it's just a one-off thing. It's a one-off thing. Kieran, your music is good. Your home music is good as well. He's probably going like, oh, ours good. It's good. But
yeah, because what do we play? We play Insomnia before, don't we?
Yeah.
As players are coming out.
Yeah.
Which is good. I do like Insomnia, but this was just slightly different.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think that is all I've got to mention on MK. All it is, 3 points. Good day. Everyone's happy. Let's move on.
Yeah, definitely. 8 straight wins. Love that.
Mhm.
Love that. Well, we've got a few other notes to mention. We've got a player who made a return, one of the academy players, part of the. I don't know if you'll be happy to me to say this, Blue, and I'm sure Sophie and
Go
Sophia
for it.
will be happy.
We're all
The
happy.
ACL gang, unfortunately. But yeah, Sophia, I think I'm going to say your name wrong. So if you are listening, Sophia, let us know. Sophia Sheshek? Sheshek.
I can't even correct you. I
No,
have no
I
idea.
know there's an S and a Z in it because I think it's like Sophia Sheshek. I think I've said that wrong, but big shout out to her because she made a return last week for the academy in their game against Leicester. 581 days out. Also, of course, suffering an ACL injury. A very serious knee injury. And Blue, you were saying it was everything in the knee that sadly she injured, and
Yeah, I can't remember the specifics, but it was a pretty bad one. I think it was quite a significant, let's call it significant damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, amazing for her. And shout out to you, Ross, for being there. Because now she has those memories as photos, and I think that means a lot when you can look back. I think a part of ACL rehab is going back through and looking at the videos of you doing exercises, or the videos you've taken just after surgery, or photos you've taken when you can't lift up your own leg, and then to have those moments where actually you've managed to get through it. And 581 days, it's a long time. It's a long time to stay motivated for and work for. So yeah, massive shout out to Sophia. She's done amazingly. Had to deal with a lot during those days. So yeah, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. Stuff like that just yeah
It
brings a
was.
smile to my face.
Yeah, it was great to see her back. Sadly, I was at the game when she actually did her injury. It was, of course, another academy game, and when I saw it, I was like, "That doesn't look good." When someone had to get a stretcher on and stuff, you just think that doesn't look good. But yeah, she's back, and it was great. She had to decide to return when it was all weathers. It was a lovely sunny day when I arrived, and then for some reason, the rain decided to come. It was windy. It felt like it was the end of the world when I looked up in the sky. She came on in the second half because that was in the first half when that happened. I was like, oh, maybe it'll be fine. The second half, it will nice brighten up. And it did brighten up. But then out of nowhere, it rained again. I was like, oh, I've got to stay here. I'm here for Sophia to capture that moment. And she made her return. It was just great, for her to come on, see her teammates. Unfortunately, we conceded a penalty when she came on. She came
We
on.
don't mention that. We don't mention that, Ross. It's all about the comeback.
Sophia.
Yeah.
But yeah, not great timing. But it was good to see her back, and many more minutes to come, I'm sure. And I'm sure, just like yourself, a player who's gone through that injury, to see another fellow player come back is great. And of course, Mark Keith of the Flagship podcast, he's going through that ACL process soon. So I'm sure I'll be there for Mark Keith's return if he ever goes to play five-a-side again, because that's how he injured his five-a-side. His ACL was that five-a-side. But I know he appreciated your little words of advice.
Oh, did he?
Blue. So
when's his surgery, Ross?
no, he's already had it.
Oh, he's had it.
Yeah, he's had it. So I think he's now three weeks deep now of recovering. So I know he's been out. He's been able to walk about and go to the pub and stuff like that. So
okay.
So he's doing okay, I think.
Sounds all right. If he's at the pub, it sounds all right.
Yeah, but I think he had a lot of help. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we're all thinking of you, Efi, and yeah, bring on the recovery, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk then about some other news. Freya Godfrey, of course, came off the bench against MK. Did also score twice for England under-19s the other week. I think it was last week, actually, in their 5-2 win over Belarus. I think that was in Switzerland, I think. So, honestly, Blue, these players who play England, you've done it yourself. You do get about and you get an opportunity to experience different countries. And then, just rock it up, play 90 minutes of football, score 2 goals, win a cap for England, happy days. But I still can't go over that, which is it's great though.
It is. You see some places you'd never see if football didn't exist. And what's nice is you always get taken to amaze, like you get treated so well.
Yeah.
Like it's ridiculous. Like looking back on it now, and you don't realise when you're in it, but looking back at it now, we'd go away. I'd leave school for 10 days or whatever, go away with England, kick a ball around, get put in the nicest hotels, good food, just insane when you look back on it. But to be fair, it's not all good. I once went to Moldova with England. Moldova is an interesting place. If you want to go there and see what it's like, go for it. But yeah, Moldova is a very, very interesting place for us.
Sorry to any Moldovan listeners out there. You never know, Blue. You never know. We're well
You never know. They might be part of that other sort of 1%. Yeah.
Other one. Yeah. But I'm not just saying you just turn up and play a bit of football and then relax. You've got to earn the right to play for your country.
Yeah.
You've got to be a good player, and Freya's proven that. I think even Megan, I don't think she played for Scotland, but she got called up again as well, part of the recent internationals. So big shout out to Megan once again. I think she was an unused sub in one of the Scotland games.
She was an unused sub in one, and then she played the game after.
Okay.
She told me. I'm not sure it was publicised on Twitter, but she let me know. But I think she really enjoyed that camp. Actually, I think it was her favourite camp. So she's doing well there too. So yeah, some young internationals, good to see.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure many more to come. And then big mention, of course, manager of the month for March, Joe Sheehan. Of course, it was well deserved because the team got 5 wins, 12 goals, just the one conceded. It was a great March, and I think it's surprising how many times we've been so close of not even getting. Well, we haven't even had an opportunity to be nominated. I don't know how Joe doesn't get nominated every month because of how we play sometimes, but he's won it again, and it was a good month for the team as a whole.
Yeah, I tell you, sometimes I'm like, maybe they've got like a joke on when Joe just can't win it.
Yeah.
But if he hadn't have won it for March, I think I probably would have written an email into the Women's National League because it's been a ridiculous month. And yeah, he's a great coach. We all know that. The way he plays, the way he sort of instills belief into people and players. He's one of the best people I know at that. So yeah, fully deserved. I think we all work hard for him. And at current times, very, very sort of excited. And yeah, sort of zoned in to the final 2 games of the season. But I think he's really enjoying the element of unknown. Obviously, the season's come really close. There could still be lots of twists and turns, even though there's only 2 games left for us. So I think we're all sort of sitting there like near the end of the season, but a lot can happen. But yeah, congratulations to Joe and all of the coaching staff, and obviously the players who have contributed too.
Definitely. I think he was in his element as well, Joe, I think, on Sunday. I think he was just enjoying the whole day. And I think he enjoyed putting the VO as high as he possibly could. I don't know how the footage got on. I haven't heard anything bad, so I'm sure it's turned out all right. But I think we were 50-50 of like, is this going to look a bit weird because it is so high up and hopefully it doesn't like attach itself. Because the VO, if you don't know, it sort of follows the ball, don't it? Yeah. So you just hope it doesn't like somehow, because MK, they've got writing which is white as well. Mm-hmm. And you just hope it doesn't, I don't know, track that instead. Yeah. Because I think there's been times where it's tracked like the referee. I think I've seen some footage do before. It's like, decided to follow the referee and it's not follow the ball. So, let us know, Joe, if you, I'm sure you're listening. Hopefully the footage is good. And I think he was excited, like because a massive stadium like that and just to watch his football being played. But yeah, well done, Joe and the team for the manager of the month award for March. Well, Blue, as you mentioned, final 2 games to go. Quick little roundup of the results. Poxy Oxford. It was 1-1 against Portsmouth, and they decided to score a late goal. I think like everyone, you look at the results and you saw that and thought, "Ooh, that was tasty." But yeah, a late goal. That was a little bit annoying, but
90 plus 2, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just soak that in a little bit. That is, but good teams, they find a way, don't they? And
they do.
You got to praise Oxford sometimes. I say this on an Ipswich Town Women's podcast, but they're a team that they grind out, don't they? And they got their goal. But yeah, it's frustrating. You know, when you feel, oh, because of course at the time we're not probably thinking about Joe and the team, maybe Kieran and stuff that because he's on Twitter and looking, but you're just eyeing up on that game. But as a player, Blue on the bench, when you get told that news, you're like, oh, it must be gutting a little bit.
I did have a cheeky look,
Yeah.
and I'd seen that it had been 1-1 for quite a while. But I remember saying to a few of the girls, I was like, I think a few of us said, I feel like there's another goal in it. Obviously there was. So yeah, it's one of those. They grind out the results. We can't control that. So although a draw would have been nice, actually we'll crack on without that. We've obviously still got them to play at Felixstowe or at home. That's a huge game. And they've got some tough fixtures coming up as well. So it's all to play for still. But yeah, it's slightly annoying. But they're a good team, like you said. They grind out results. And fair play to them. It's only so much. It's not even luck because they've earned it. And I know they missed a penalty in the first minute as well. So it sounds like it was a cracker of a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is what it is, and we'll move on. But I think Cheltenham, who we're playing next, they beat Crawley Ross 3-1. Cheltenham have been having a rough time, actually, haven't they? Since they beat Oxford, they had a really rough time, and they've sort of now beaten Crawley Ross to put a win on the board. But considering this is their first season in this league, they're not doing badly, are they, Ross?
Not doing bad at all. I've just actually looked at their result. It was that player we picked out, that Henna Butcher, who played for the that Kingsham team in Cyprus Challenge. He scored twice against Crawley. So now a shout out to Henna Butcher. I think we would I was trying to think of her name, weren't I? I was like, what's she called? What's her name? She scored twice for them. So and of course, we're playing them. So that's a player to look out for. Joe and the team, Blue. Let people know. Player to look at. I don't know what position she plays. Must be a midfielder, I think. I should know this. I've watched her play now a few times. But she's I think she's like attacking mid.
Okay.
So defenders, be warned. Henna Butcher. I don't know what her number is. Not really helpful here, am I? But she scored 3 goals, so watch out. But yeah, fair play to them though. They're, like when we played in Blue, this is a way now to segue onto the preview. Then really, Watford won 2-0 against London Bees, which is the other result to really look out for. Of course, they're still got to play, haven't they? Watford and Oxford. That game got postponed last week, which is a bit annoying, but is what it is. But hopefully their game will get sorted soon. But Cheltenham though, Blue. We that was the final game before Christmas. A very cold, wet day in Gloucestershire. They had nothing open as well. I wanted a nice little cheeky coffee or something, or a hot chocolate, and just warm up. But they didn't. I had to go on the coach, and good old Mick Dabbs, the coach driver, he made me a nice cup of tea before the game. But yeah, it was a wet. We won the game, thankfully. But Cheltenham weren't a bad side.
It was tight. It was really tight. I remember watching the game and thinking, "Ooh, this could be a challenge, actually." And it was freezing cold. I remember Bonnie saying that actually that's the coldest she's ever been playing football. And Bonnie's had a great career and played a long time in the game, so that's saying something. But they were a tough team. But I think it's strange. They're sort of up and down. Obviously, they were good. Well, no, I think they got battered a little bit towards the start of the season. Then they had a good spell, and then obviously beat Oxford, and now I've had a difficult spell, and then have bounced back and beat Crawley. Although Crawley are struggling this season.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be tough no matter what. They've had a few sort of odd results where they've got a win against a decent team. So we need to make sure that we're not one of them. And the importance of these last 2 games is massive. Massive, massive, massive. We need to finish the season strong, something that we didn't do last season. So we want to correct that.
Yeah, and we're just like the men, really, we're going into form at the right time because, we started the season not so great, but now we're 8 straight wins in a row, keeping clean sheets, scoring goals. Goal difference may come into play. You never know. And at the moment, our goal difference isn't as maybe good as Watford or Oxford, but hopefully it doesn't go down to that. I'm sorry if I jinxed it. Oh, God, I've ruined it for everybody. I don't think it'll go down to that. I think it'll go down to the games we play each other. I think they're the big ones everyone's going to look out for. But yeah, back down to Felixstowe Blue for the Cheltenham game. Of course, there's a weekend break this Sunday, and then the 30th of April. Get down there, really. That's the big shout out to everybody. We need your support. We've got great support already, but if you've been thinking about going to a game, go down to it. AJR Arena, 2 p.m. kickoff on a Sunday. The weather's getting nicer now. Get down there, Blue. That's
what else are you doing? What else are you doing Sunday afternoons? Got 2 left. 2, that's it. And then you're going to miss us.
There's no Mother's Day, or anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. In 2 months' time, when you're like, oh, I fancy doing something on a Sunday afternoon, and we're not there, what are you going to do? Do it now. That's what I'm saying, Ross.
Yeah.
Get down there. Pack it out.
Yeah, pack out AJ Arena. That's the hashtag. Pack out AJ Arena. That's what we want. But yeah, as you say, we're at the end of the season now. You're going to have 2 months of no football. There's no. There was a World Cup in November last year, but there's nothing definitely at all this summer.
Hang on, Ross. Yeah. No, Women's World Cup is this summer. I'm not having that.
Oh, sorry. Oh God. Oh, that's not good, is it? It's not good. Yeah,
to be fair, it's not close to us. It's in Australia and New Zealand. So don't know if I'm going to let you off on that. But England have got a decent chance.
Yeah,
go on.
I'm saying this now because it's in Australia, and not many people who will probably listen to will go there. If you're going there, then well done. Congratulations to you. Because last year, I'm digging myself a hole here. But last year, because we had great Euros and stuff, didn't we? But that was based in England, so of course everyone could go to them games. But I don't think it's going to be on TV and stuff. But
yeah, I think it's going to be really odd times as well, so it's going to be difficult to watch.
So there we go. That's my defense.
But Ross, still, England have got a good chance. My sister plays. She's a bit younger than me, and for the past couple of months, she's been trying to convince my dad to take her to Australia for a month.
Good luck.
Obviously, it's a hard no, but it doesn't stop her trying.
Yeah.
I think they've settled on the Women's FA Cup final as a sort of bargaining.
Yeah.
So she's quite happy with that.
Yeah, that's going to be a cracker as well. Chelsea United. That's just going to be.
Yeah, she's a United fan. Big Ella Toone fan.
Ooh.
Massive Ella Toone fan. Yeah.
So
that should be a good one. So yes, there is something going on this summer. The Women's World Cup is on this summer.
Technically, yes, because it's on TV and all that jazz. But in terms of going to a game physically in England,
okay, fine, Ross. I'll allow that. I'll allow that.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Just to come back to it, just in case people come at me and go, "Oh, I can't believe you didn't think of it." I did think of it, but in terms of actually going to a game in the flesh,
yeah.
But
we'll go with that.
Good to bring it up, Blue, because just in case we think we're forgetting about it. International football. We love international football. Lionesses, last year. I think, Blue, it's going to be nearly a year since that happened.
It's crazy! That's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember that day so well, the final. I was at it, and amazing day. But actually, I'm going to ask you because I know you're a big fan of kits and you give opinions on kits. So we've gone slightly rogue in terms of this podcast. We are now talking about the Lionesses' new kit. Have you seen the Lionesses' away kit?
Yeah, because they played in it. What game was it again? Did they lose, sadly? Was that the game they lost?
Yes, they did. They lost the first time in a while.
Yeah, but that's a great record. That was 30 games, weren't it?
It was ridiculous. Yeah. I think it needed to end before the World Cup, actually.
Yeah, sometimes it's the best time to do it. Just going to quickly, I do know what it is, because there's there's a couple of players who didn't wear numbers because of dementia. Was it?
Yeah.
Something that? Okay, I've got it up.
Yeah.
Thoughts on it? There's worse kits and there's better kits. I don't mind it. What's your thoughts on it?
I think it's a little bit different. I think I prefer the home kit for the Euros. I really like the bat. It just looked clean.
Yeah.
But I prefer the away kit this time. Don't love it, but don't mind it. Prefer it to the bright orange one. I didn't like that one at all.
No. I'm just quickly actually seeing, because I've just seen an interview here. I'm seeing it from Leah Williamson, and sometimes it's better to look at as a video. So this is like an interview.
Yeah, okay.
More up close. I'm just playing it now. Don't need that. You can see that on the Lionesses Twitter page. I just quickly look. I don't know how you just in case people don't know what it looks like. I don't know how you explain the like design of it. I don't know. Like, they're triangles, like a bit triangle there.
Yeah, it's almost it's not a retro design, but it's
No.
along those. It's sort of almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to describe it really. It's
Yeah.
not it's not very good that we don't know how to describe a kit on a podcast, really, is it?
It's blue. It's blue.
It's blue,
Or was
yeah.
it like aqua blue? No. I'm not really good with my like shades of blue. I don't know what there's like names in it. I don't know.
It does
Um,
look clean. It would look good with a World Cup trophy with it too. So let's hope that
yes.
comes in the summer.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Well, you never know. Me and Blue could bring you a World Cup special, maybe to
Mm.
get some insight on that and stuff like that. That'd be good. And yeah, hopefully, in the summer when everyone's back pre-season, we'll find out our pre-season schedule soon. I'm sure. Of course, the players opportunity for them to go off and have breaks and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been one hell of a season on and off the pitch, Blue. You've made your return. How's things with you?
Yeah, so it's obviously made my return and then picked up a little bit of a niggle in my other knee, which has taken probably a little longer than expected to sort of settle. So it's just inflammation, really, nothing too serious. It's just taking its time. It really is. So I'm not in a lot of pain, but it's just managing that I could probably train right now, but I know it feels like it would come back. So obviously I want to get it rid of for good, and start sort of fresh. I don't really want to be playing with niggles. So yeah, it's nothing too serious at all. It's just for some reason taking its time. But rehabbing a lot as per usual. Something that I've got good at. Where have you gone? Oh, my laptop is just thrown out. But yeah, well, let's get back to rehab. I'm rehabbing well. Sort of waiting for that inflammation to go down. Doing everything I can. And obviously supporting the girls whilst that's happening. But yeah, I would love to be back on the pitch. And for I wanted that continuity to come back and be back training and be back trying to get into the squads. But sadly, life does not work like that, which I'm learning. So yeah, it's not ideal. It's not ideal. I'd much rather be playing and be pain free, but that's not the case at the minute. So working hard to make sure that can be in the future.
Definitely. But yeah, it's been good. It's good that you're just at the games, Blue, and supporting the girls, and I'm sure they appreciate that. And yeah, of course, I appreciate your hard work on the pod this year. It's been a great year. We've still got, of course, loads more podcasts to come before the end of the season. But I just want to say a thank you, Blue, and a thanks to all our great listeners out there. But you're gonna be a greater listener and a greater fan if you go down to AJ Arena 30th of April. We won't bring you a podcast next week, so they'll be a week away. But yeah. Get down there. Cheltenham Town, at home, sweet shop, burgers, chips, whatever you fancy. Get down there, Blue. Any other business for yourself?
No other business, I don't think, Ross. All good. It's been a good pod.
That's been really good. So I hope you've enjoyed. Nearly an hour. Me and Blue just chin-wagging away.
This was meant to be a short and snappy episode, you said.
Yeah, I just thought, we ain't got a guest this week because we just thought, let's do a rod in solo and stuff. We just wanted to, talk about a game that wasn't great. Got a win though, but we just, segued on to different things, discussed many things. I think we just missed the routine of just chatting every week. So we just had a nice little catch up live on air, guys. Just me and Blue just having a chinwag. But I hope you've enjoyed it. Blue, well, take it away. Let everyone know where to find us for other things and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, God. I'm not sure I'm good at that. I'll say thank you to John Fowler Solicitors for the support as per usual. Big shout out to Michael Kennedy. And yeah, thanks for enjoying another pod. I know we've left you for a few weeks, but we're back. We'll have another week off, but then we'll be back after Cheltenham. If you can get down there, please do. We've got 2 games, and it really does make a difference when there's more people there. The noise, the atmosphere, it's a great environment. So come and give it a try. Sweet Shop is great also. But yeah, once again, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in a couple of weeks.